The Spirit of God that moved over the waters amid darkness is a divine message to all of us. Here.
Genesis 1, 2, 3 already is a prophecy of Jesus.
In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth was without form and void, and darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. And God said, "Let there be light," and there was light. Thus the light came after the Spirit moved in darkness. The state prior to the coming of light was that of darkness. Darkness in Hebrew ties with death. Remember how Jesus hung in darkness on the cross. That was the state prior to the coming of light, which was brought forth by his breath. And this is prophesied in Genesis 1, because we find that God did something. God did something amid the darkness prior to the coming of light. His spirit, his breath, his ruach was moving and shaking over the waters, and that is a prophecy, a message that would describe what was necessary to happen before the coming of light. Hear this.
Because God turned the darkness. Remember, before the darkness was turned. Remember Genesis 1, verse 1, 2, 3. What does this mean? There is a death verdict over the abyss of our sin. Darkness dies with death in the Hebrew. And there, in the state of darkness, in the state where there was no firmness, there was no earth for us, it is void. It is in a state of unreality because we cannot stand before God. We cannot exist. We have no firm dwelling because we are guilty and we deserve that darkness, that death. But in the darkness, the Ruach, the Spirit, the breath of God moved and shook over the wasting, over the water starts with wasting. The breath of God moved in the darkness. Jesus hung in darkness on the cross, and his breath shook in the darkness. And the darkness was gone. God said, "Let there be light." There is pardoning, there is life, there is existence for us who are sinful, but by God's grace, there is, by the business of God, brought forth light. There came a great light, there came a great ruler, whose beginnings is of everlasting, the one that can turn the darkness and bring the light in truth to himself. God fulfilled the death verdict in the stead of us, by the only one that can turn the darkness, by the breather outer of breath, whose beginnings is from everlasting, who was sent to the house of bread, Bethlehem, to the place of being broken, Ephrata, where Mary bitterness lay him down in a food bowl. If Herod had gone and seen and trusted the scriptures, Micah, the prophecy that God has given centuries before, he would have known the Messiah. God is awesome, and he opens his scriptures so that you can go and see and become like a shepherd to minister through the flock. The salvation has come. Share this with everyone you know. Remember Genesis? Who's the one that turned the darkness to light? God. What happened when Jesus was on the cross? There was darkness. And then, when he breathed out his breath at 3, the darkness was turned. There was light. It is his word, his tabar, his business.
What happened before the light came? The Spirit of God in the darkness moved over the waters. The breath moved over the wasting, while Jesus hung in darkness.
His Spirit was over the wasting. It's a prophecy of redemption that would come through Jesus. Jesus means God's salvation. Jesus' testimony is throughout the Bible. And if this helps you, please share with other people. Please make this visible. This is not going to reach many people without you.